All right. Very nice. So get in a comfortable seated position. You may want to use your pillow underneath your hips if that just allows for a little bit of more ease in the body. And then you'll take a softened gaze, or you can close your eyes while we settle in and start to connect with the breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Settling in, settling down. Maybe bringing a hand to the belly. Feel the belly expand as you breathe in and contract as you exhale. And let the shoulders roll back and the spine lengthen. Thinking about what you can let go of tonight as we finish up our last week here of 2020. Maybe a fear, a worry, a loss, expectation, or disappointment. Come up with something that you think would serve you to let go. And as you inhale, I want you to breathe out and exhale, let go of that, whatever it is, disappointment, fear. Again, inhale and exhale, let go. And one more time, really like you mean it. Take a big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth. Exhale, let it go. Nice job. Come on forward onto your mat into a child's pose. We'll open the knees wide, bring those big toes to touch, press the hips back towards the hips, and arms reach forward. If you have any discomfort, you can use a pillow or bolster between the thighs, if that helps you, if your hips don't come all the way down to the ground. And we'll come down to the mat and get your forehead onto the earth or on your block. Spread the fingers wide and breathe into it. Rolling your forehead side to side. Opening that chakra. Reminding yourself to let go. Walk your hands over to your left side. Get a nice big deep stretch from that right pinky into the right hip. Reaching that left arm even further away from the body. And walk your hands to the other side. Good job. We're going to move into our first yin posture, which is melting heart. So if you have any tenderness under the knees, or if you're on a hard floor, you might want to use your pillow under the knees. And then try to keep your hips over the knees and walk your arms out all the way down. Maybe your chin will rest down on the mat if you have a lot of flexibility in the neck, or maybe the forehead will come down to the mat. So finding that shape for you, and then find your breath. My little timer, and I'm going to time us in our postures. So knowing that our yin yoga is all about finding the shape that works for you, finding that edge in the shape, that deepness, and then connecting with your breath, settling in, resolving to find some stillness, and following the breath in and out. thinking about surrendering, letting go of this year. As we let go of what doesn't serve us, we make room for new. This melting heart posture is helping us get some nice opening in the outside of the back, the lower back, the shoulders, opening in the heart. And the toes could be flexed onto the mat, or you could have the tops of the feet on your mat. There's no right or wrong. So we want to find that edge in the posture where we feel the deep stretch. But remember, we don't have to be at 100% in that edge. So if you need to adjust a little bit, if you feel like you've gone a little too deep, or maybe the body's opening up and you want to take it deeper, then you take a break from that stillness and go ahead and move. Remembering we never want any pain in any of the postures. No numbness, sharp pain, tingling, burning sensation, anything like that. You definitely want to move back out of the posture. Any cramping, you can get out of it and then even go back in. Always listen to your body. Good job. Take 3 more breaths. Nice. Bottom of that 3rd breath, rise up out of the posture. And any counter movement that might feel good. Maybe just a little bit of a twisting side to side, swinging the arms. Then we'll come back to all fours. And we'll move into a thread the needle. So let's start with the right hand and bring that right arm up high, twisting up. And then you'll send it through, come all the way down onto the right shoulder, the side of the head, the ear. The right arm is extending long away from the body. The left hand, bring that close to the head. I like to come up onto the fingertips and then open up that elbow. The left elbow is pressing away from the body, giving you some opening in the pectoral muscle. Feeling a nice stretch down torso. There's an opening in the rib cage, the intercostal muscles between the ribs getting stretched, the fascial network beginning to open. This posture opens up the meridians of the heart and the lungs, getting that energy, that chi flow moving. Sometimes the hardest part of our yin yoga practice is finding stillness in the brain. So use your breath. Let's take one more here. Inhale. And exhale, rise back out. Good job. Taking little cat-cow movements, if that feels good to you. Rounding the chin to chest, doming in the shoulders. Exhale, open up. And one more, chin to chest, push out of the wrist. Good job. And then we'll take our thread the needle to the other side. Lift the left arm high, reach it to the sky, and send it through, threading the needle. Coming down on the left side of the head, Right hand maybe on the fingertips and opening up in the elbow. In all our twists in yoga, we want to originate the twist with drawing the abdominal muscles in and engaging them. That helps protect your back. So draw those abdominals in, the belly button towards the spine. One more breath here. Good job. And rise up. Find your tabletop position on all fours. Maybe some hip circles here. Press the hips back to the side and forward. Any counter movement that feels good to your body is always acceptable in between our poses. Nice. From this tabletop position, we're going to move into a dragon pose. If you have blocks handy, you might want to bring them up to the top of your mat. And then you'll step the right foot forward, extending that left foot behind you, maybe using a bolster or pillow under that left knee. It's kind of an active pose as we're engaging some strength. So we're starting up in a high-flying or proud dragon, getting some nice sensation in the inner thighs. The left hip flexor is awakening. And if you're able to lean back a little bit, getting some arch in the spine and opening into that psoas muscle that runs down between the rib cage and the hip flexor. We must let go of the life we planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. We all got a lot of lessons in that this year. But exciting to know that we can let it go, put things behind us, and make room for new experiences and expectations, new connections. Maybe letting go of habits that aren't serving us, making room for new possibilities. Good job. Let's take this down into a low-flying dragon, if you haven't already. So I'm going to use that block, turn it down on its side, and come down on my forearms. You can come all the way down, forearms to the ground. Head could rest in the hands or on the block. If you want to make it even juicier, you would turn that right foot and come to the outside edge of the right foot, getting deep, opening into the hip. Again, if you found that you've gone a little too deep, take it back a notch. It's okay. For those of you that are newer to Yin Yoga, It's the time that we hold in the posture that helps open up the body rather than how deep we take it. Great job. That's 3 minutes that you were in that posture. We're going to back out now into a half split. So staying on that left knee and extending the right knee straight. Hands can come to the ground or to your blocks. You might be upright. You may want to sit the hips all the way back to the ground or even sit under a block on the right side there and then come forward. So it's this time sitting in the posture that helps stretch that fascial network, the ligaments and the tendons, the connective tissue of the body. Yes, the muscles are stretching as well, but we're not targeting the muscles as much as this other tissue. So, in fact, we're trying to think about softening the body and softening the parts that we're not engaging. So maybe assess and notice where you can soften, maybe in your face, your fingers, your back. We'll just take 3 more breaths. Good job. We're going to rise up, come forward to your tabletop position. You can take a cat-cow here, or maybe you want to press up into a downward-facing dog as a counter movement. So we spread those fingers wide, curl the toes under, and then the hips go high, pedaling out your feet. Heels reaching to the ground, alternating one heel down and then the other. Maybe shaking the head, following the breath in and out. Taking a 3-legged dog if that feels good to you. Lifting one leg high, bending the knees, stacking the hips, and alternating it to the other side. And then when you're ready, coming down on your mat, back to your tabletop, and we'll move into our dragon pose on the left side. Remembering if you have blocks to bring them forward with you. Stepping the left foot forward. Generally, you've got that knee over the ankle. And then maybe you lift up the toes on that back foot, press the knee back down. Finding what works for you. Maybe noticing the differences on different sides of the body here. Just noticing and observing. No judgment. Seeing if you can lean back a little bit. Lifting that chest. Getting deep into that hip flexor and psoas on the right side. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you hope and a future. I have that up on my wall. Great reminder. Good job. Let's take it down now to our low flying dragon. Good, and now we're going to press it back into that half split, whatever variation works for you. Maybe staying up on the hands, reaching that chest towards the knee, the left leg is extended. You're always able to keep a soft bend in the knee if that feels good to you. Or maybe coming all the way down and then dropping the body over the leg. Good job. On your next breath in, come forward to your tabletop. You can take cat-cow there, or you can move into your downward facing dog. Pressing those hips high and pedaling out your feet. And lifting one leg and bending the knee, opening the hip. And the other. We'll walk our feet towards the middle of the mat and separate your feet, mat distance apart, grabbing onto opposite elbows maybe, or you can let the hands hang. Soft bend in the knees. In yin, this is called dangling pose. In our yang class, it's a forward fold. Just a few breaths here. And with those feet nice and wide, hands to the mat, we're going to gently lower the hips down, finding Malanasana or frog pose, frog squat. So variations for you here. You could use a block under the booty. If your heels don't come all the way to the ground, you could roll up the edges of your mat and then lever the heels onto the mat, or using your pillows. Whatever you can find that's accessible. We won't stay here too long, I promise. Maybe using those elbows to press the knees wide, opening up in the hips. Bringing good energy, spread the toes, lift the arches of the feet, and breathe. Good job. The hands come to the ground. You're just going to lower the booty right down to the ground and extend your legs long and shake them out. Bounce the legs. And maybe you want to try some windshield wipers here. So we'll bend the knees, feet to the ground, and then drop the knees to one side and the other. Good. We'll move into a seated butterfly next. If you've got a lot of tightness in the hips, then you may want to sit up on your pillow. Just brings a little bit of ease to the posture. And you have your choice here, so you can bring the feet in, tight in and close to the body, and come on down. Maybe try that for a little bit. If you want to feel a little more in the hamstrings and hips, then you can do a long-legged butterfly where the feet are out in a longer away from the body. And then maybe you use that block to rest the head down, or the block can be a little resting place for the elbows, and the head could rest in the hands. Or if you don't have a block and you're using pillows, you could use the pillow in the front and kind of hug the pillow or bolster in front of you to help give you some support. This butterfly posture is allowing for opening in the hips and in the lower spine. And according to traditional Chinese medicine, it's stimulating the meridians of the liver and of the kidneys and of the gallbladder. So it just means it's just helping the energy flow, help it get unstuck. It's like acupressure or acupuncture. Maybe making those adjustments as the body starts to open, finding that second edge, that little bit deeper place, or backing out if that's what you need. You are always your own best teacher. Remember, I'm just your guide. You know what you're feeling, what you're experiencing. As we settle in, maybe using a mantra to help keep the mind quiet and to stay here in the moment. Inhaling so, exhale hum. Sanskrit for I am. Good job. Let's take 3 more breaths here. At the bottom of that 3rd breath, you'll rise up. Take your time. Bring the hands behind you and then lift the chest towards the sky, arching the back, moving the spine the other way. And maybe you'll extend the legs long. Bouncing them out and finding those windshield wipers, feet to the ground, knees bent, dropping legs one side and to the other. We're going to progress with hip opening into a square pose. So I'm still seated up on my pillow. It's not real high, but just gives me a little extra lift. And then bringing the feet in line in front of the knees. I have my right leg in front to begin. I'm going to bring the right foot on top of the knee. If that is not accessible for you, that's totally okay. Keep it down on the ground in front of you. If this position bothers your knees, you could put any kind of support. You could put a support underneath it, under the knee, a pillow or block if you like. And then we're going to start to lean forward with the posture. So finding what works for you. We're targeting those hips. That's what we're looking for, is opening in the hips. Any discomfort in the knees, you want to adjust, support. Maybe take it one leg at a time if you need to. But we're not aiming to create any stress or pain or tension in your knee joints. So with the new year, instead of a New Year's resolution this year, you may want to set a sankalpa. The sankalpa is a Sanskrit word that means will, purpose, or determination. So it's like setting an intention, like a New Year's resolution, but without focusing on the negative aspects of yourself, focusing more on the journey rather than the end result. Sankalpa explores what's behind the habit that maybe you want to change, or the behavior. So for now, maybe setting our intention to look back and to let go. Our sankalpa to open our hearts to new possibilities. Inhaling a bright future. Exhaling, letting go of the past. Three more breaths here. On the bottom of that third breath, rise up. Take any counter movement that feels good to you. Unwind the legs. Kind of noticing a little rebound, stillness moment, giving them a little bounce. Bringing attention to the lower back and maybe hands behind you and arching that chest. You can even take a reverse tabletop here, hands behind you, feet to the ground, and then lift the hips up, drop the head back. Good, and then we'll get set up for this square posture on the other side. So for me, it's the right foot down, lower, and the left foot on top. If you've forgotten which one you started with. So find that shape for your body where you think you can hold this for a few minutes. When you're ready, you'll take it forward. And maybe you won't. Maybe Sitting in this posture is plenty of sensation for you, so that's great, that's fine. May I be happy and open to what life brings. Three more breaths. You're doing so well. Bottom of that third breath, rise up. Take your time as you come out of the posture. Extend the legs long and just be still for a moment in the seated position. For a few breaths. And then take any movement that your body's craving. Bouncing out the legs. Lifting the chest and arching the back. Maybe tabletop, reverse tabletop. Good job. Good movement on those hips. We're going to come down to our bellies for Sphinx pose. So getting some more opening in the back, opening of the heart. Bring your block forward. Maybe your pillow if you want to have anything under your hips or under your chest, whatever you might need. So the Sphinx pose, the elbows are below the shoulders. And then we press the shoulders back, hands spread wide, toes to the outer corners of the mat, press the chest back. And that's our posture. If you want to use the block, you can lower the head down onto the block. Still finding some engagement and opening in that spine. If this is too much for you, let your arms come out wider or further away, and that will bring you down lower. For some people, laying on your belly, crossing the arms, resting the head, that's enough of a stretch in the lower spine. So that's okay if that's what works for you. Another variation, if you have 2 blocks or 2 pillows, would be to put those under the arms. And then maybe close the eyes. Noticing the sensations in the body. Achiness is okay. Little achiness. Stretching our backs in a way that to counter the sitting that we do most of the day. So breathe into the achiness. Send your breath there. Maybe engaging that inner lock, that mula bandha, your muscles inside. That can help give the posture a different feel in the spine. Nice job. So that's 2 minutes. You can stay right where you are. If you want to take it up to seal pose, you can press up to seal. Bring the hands by the chest and rise up. Straighten up the arms. Lifting the chin. And deeper stretch the whole spine. The hips are pressing down towards the mat. Even though they're off the mat, you have that counter motion happening. And lower down, all the way down to the belly. Crossing the arms, let's bring one arm on top of the other and drop your head into the arms. Find some stillness here. Lift the heels into the air and gently let them sway side to side. Drop the feet back to the ground. Slide the right knee up, 90-degree angle. Leg is on the ground. Turn your head to the side. A little scarecrow pose. And now take a little wiggle in the hips. Try to soften and let go. This is a gentle hip opener. And let that right leg slide down. Turn your head to face the left and slide the left leg up. 90-degree angle. Your leg is completely supported by the floor. Again, using a pillow under the chest or the hips if you need to. You want to try and find some softness in the pose. Find some kindness to yourself. Good job. Slide the leg back. You're going to roll over onto your back, keeping your block or pillow nearby. Lying down on the back, hug the knees into the chest, flex the feet, and just gently rock and roll side to side. We're going to move into a supported bridge. So let the feet come to the ground, using your block or pillow underneath the booty. So you don't want it on the bony part of your back. We want to bring it onto the cushy part of your booty. And then perhaps you're going to take it a little deeper and extend the legs long. There we go. And the arms can come out wide to the sides, or the arms can come up overhead, getting a little more opening in the shoulders. So finding what works for you here. You may not have enough sensation, so you would stack another pillow or another block. You could turn the block up on the higher end as long as it's not going to collapse. Yeah. Allowing for this nice opening through the front of the body, so as in the abdominal muscles, the hip flexors. If you find this to be too much, keep your feet flat on the ground. That's okay. Or remove the block entirely if you wish. Make adjustments, make modifications, but feel good to yourself. Good job. Let's take 3 more breaths. You'll walk your feet up towards your hips. Taking your time here, removing your support and lowering the back and booty all the way to the earth. Maybe extending the legs long. Let's just experience a little stillness here. Noticing the sensations in the back side of the body and the front side. And then we'll roll to our left side. Keeping your pillow, if you can, back behind that right shoulder. We're going to move into cat pulling tail. So you're on your left side. The right hand reaches back and captures the left foot, so the bottom leg, if you're laying on your left side. And then that right leg comes forward. You can stay right here in this posture, or the last bit would be to lower that right shoulder down to the ground or to your pillow. Maybe the head and the shoulder are supported. So you get some spinal twist here. You get a quadricep stretch with the on the bottom leg, on that bottom left leg. The right leg is reaching forward. And we try to settle in. Using a strap to reach the foot if you can't reach it with your hand. Keeping a bend in the front knee, the top knee, if that's more comfortable for you. And just allowing yourself to arrive in this posture. Yin yoga is about allowing more than force and pushing, more of an ease. And accepting. Allowing ourselves to be comfortable in that discomfort, when we're not quite comfortable. Learning to connect with the breath. Reassuring ourselves that we're okay. That we're safe. Reminding ourselves of the hope we have for new promises, new experiences, new connections. Noticing your heart opening to the sky. Opening your heart to all the new that is to come. And take 3 more breaths. Bottom of your 3rd breath, release that left foot. Bring the right leg down and roll to your back. Experience your rebound here, lying on the back. Noticing the differences in the body from one side to the other. And walk your feet in and maybe bring the knees to the chest and hug them in. And rock and roll to the side. And then we'll take it to the other side, lying down on your right side, bringing your pillow up to the left corner of your mat. And that bottom leg, so that right leg is bent, the hand reaches back, captures the foot, the left leg extends long. And the last piece of it is we drop that left shoulder back towards the ground, maybe supported by the pillow, maybe pillow under the head. And there you are. Sink into it. Try and soften that left shoulder. Maybe you might be holding a little tension there. If I was with you in person, I would gently press my hand on your shoulder. Imagine just a little gentle pressure, softening. Take 3 more breaths. Bottom of that third breath, release the left leg, roll to your back. Experiencing some stillness there for the rebound, or hugging the knees into the chest, whatever feels good for you. One more heart opening pose. If you have your bolster or pillow, you're going to line that up lengthwise down your mat. It's going to be going down the spine. I'm using a block that will come right to the middle of my back, and then my pillow bolster on top of it for goddess pose or supported fish. The soles of the feet are coming together, the knees opening wide, and then coming on back, letting the arms come out to your sides, or they can rest down on the elbows if you've had enough in the shoulders, or if you're craving a little bit more, you can bring the arms overhead. Lots of variation. Find what works for you. Allowing that heart to open, the hips opening. If you've had enough with the hips, you can extend your legs long. Legs opening in the neck to the cervical spine, and supporting the head a little bit, just finding what works for you. Sliding the legs, the feet down the mat, extending them long. Rolling to one side, removing the support from the back. Maybe moving your pillow down lower on your mat so it can come under your knees. And setting up for your final resting pose of Shavasana. We let our feet go to the outer corners of the mat. Knit the shoulder blades together. Palms facing up, empty palms. Maybe roll your head side to sides as it burrows into the earth. Our final resting pose, our last surrender, letting go of all of our weight, physical weight, emotional weight, sadness, burdens. For these moments, we're going to let it all go. Just be. You're welcome to remain in your Shavasana if you'd like to stay there. Otherwise, roll over to your side. And then gently come up into a seated position. Bringing those hands to heart center. May I be happy and open to what life brings me. Thanks, guys. Namaste.